Welcome to Sunday Mornings with Enlightenism. I'm Brother Malcolm.
I'm Sister Carolyn.
And we are here to share some wonderful, thought-provoking insights on a new way to think and live. The power within, the greater power within you is greater than you are today. And that's what Sister Carolyn is going to talk to us about. To get us started, she is an Enlightenism practitioner, teacher, and a workshop facilitator.
Absolutely.
She does the work to promote Enlightenism to as many people as she can. So let's give her a great welcome and pay close attention, folks, because there's some really, really important insights coming from this lady here, Sister Carolyn.
Thank you, Brother Malcolm. Thank you very much. As Brother Malcolm said, I am Sister Carolyn, Enlightenism teacher and consciousness practitioner. And this is the work that I do all the time. That is my power of being. And the idea of Enlightenism is about a new way to think and a new way to live. And unless you unlearn the toxicity that has been brought into your life by yourself and others, Enlightenism does not have a place to live. So what I'm going to talk about today is, of course, I always talk about Enlightenism, but what I'm going to talk about today is how we recognize the toxicity in ourselves. And what is toxicity? Well, toxicity is lack, limitation, and struggle. And that prevents you from understanding what we say on this program each and every time we broadcast. Enlightenism says that you are whole, perfect, and complete, faceless, formless, and colorless, and have everything that you will ever need for the journey. And for so long in our lives, we have not lived with the freedom of knowing that we are whole, perfect, and complete. We were born this way, and along life's journey, we unlearn that through the process of trying to live in the illusionary world that's been created for us to live in. We shut off our feelings. We shut off our process of being because we subscribe to everything that we've been taught. And when we don't, we find someone that puts us back on that path. Enlightenism is about getting off of that path. In Brother Malcolm's first book, The New African American Man, he talked about getting off the crowded road. And the crowded road is the illusionary road where we have picked up all these beliefs and notions. And whenever we're angered or frustrated or confused by something, it usually has come from the illusionary world, the world of toxicity. And so today, what is important is that you file bankruptcy. And when we file bankruptcy, we need relief from the debts that we've created in our lives. And what I know is the relief is Enlightenism. I have filed bankruptcy from lack, limitation, and struggle. And what does that mean? It means for me coming from a place of wholeness. It means paying the debts not with the toxic model that I've used for so long, but paying with Enlightenism. And when I pay with Enlightenism, it means that I have invested myself in compassion, meditation, grace, responsibility, and understanding my awareness of being. When I filed bankruptcy on lack, limitation, and struggle, it means unlearning those beliefs and values that have put me too often in a place where I don't want to be, in a place that doesn't feel good. What I know is when that feeling hits me in an experience where I am separated from my wholeness, the wholeness being Enlightenism, the wholeness where I take responsibility for my life, where I take responsibility for my beingness. I understand when I step out of this consciousness, even if only for a minute, I am aware of who I am being. I am aware that I now have relief from lack, limitation, and struggle by understanding in that moment that in this moment I am not showing enough compassion. I'm not showing enough grace. I am not showing the trust in myself to move through this experience. I invest in meditation so that I can see what is on my mind, not fight what is on my mind if I don't like it, but see what is there and why it is there. With Enlightenism, you learn why you do what you do. When you learn what you are holding on to, the model, the experience is you. It is about coming out of the beliefs from the illusionary world that we have placed a value on. We've not placed that value in the right place, and that value is in ourselves. That trust is in ourselves. Enlightenism is a new way to think and live. And you can only be an enlightenedness in the practice and the beingness of who you are. When experiences come up, when thoughts come up, what are you believing? Who are you in the process of this? What I know is when I see value in myself, I can recognize that value in others. And I don't have to subscribe, they should be like this in order for me to like them. Not coming from that judgment model that we take so long to build. It is about unlearning judgment. It is about learning where we pick that up from and not hating where we picked it up from, but understanding that it is not beneficial on the road to Enlightenism. What is beneficial is the investments, the meditation, the time that you have spent just in a thought process of who you are aware of being. So often when someone asks you who you are, you state what the illusionary world has told you what is important to that world. But who are you in your awareness of being? I say to you in this day and in this moment, file bankruptcy on lack, limitation, and struggle. They no longer can pay the way for your beingness in life. The values that you instill and that you gain from this higher consciousness that we are born with. There is no judgment. You are perfect the way that you are. There is no one like you. You are whole, perfect, and complete, compared to no other. This is my message in this day, that you file bankruptcy on lack, limitation, and struggle. The relief is Enlightenism. I invite you to purchase our book, Enlightenism. Enlightenism truly is a new way to think and live. You can get a copy of this through the National Bias Society, our website, or Amazon. I encourage you to purchase this for a new way to think and live. And now it's time to introduce Brother Malcolm. Brother Malcolm is the creator of Enlightenism. I give you now, Brother Malcolm.
Thank you so much, Sister Carolyn, for those wonderful insights and introductions. You got us going. Thanks for the great information.
You're welcome.
Keep on the path. The Enlightenism path, folks, is what we're talking about here today. We're talking about a new way to think and live. Enlightenism is that way. We're talking about spiritual freedom, the power to change your beliefs, to change how you think about yourself. We're letting go of the mess that we inherited from other people. Really, what I am encouraging all of you to think about today in your life is how you feel about yourself. Who are you aware of being? And where is this information coming from that defines you, defines your awareness of being? How do you know you are this person? How do you know you're suffering? How do you know that you feel pain today? It's coming from a belief system in the mind. Something that someone has told you about the mind. We are challenged today to change how we think and live because of what's happening in our lives. It's not what's happening in Frederick Douglass' life, Marcus Garvey, Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all of the other people that we have heard about. They had a vision about what they thought freedom looked like. And that's the path that they followed. And many of us picked up the same path because we thought that this was the vision, the only vision that we were capable of having about freedom. Well, we've learned in the 21st century that there's a new way to think and live. And that to let go of our dependency on the past. And that means letting go of the George Washingtons, Abraham Lincolns, the Roosevelts, and all of those people. In our thinking, our minds are conditioned much like the Constitution of the United States. Constitution is set in stone. Basically never changes. Stays the same. It's not modified. I mean, people do modify it, but it's basically the same. People in the year that we're in today, 2025, still quoting things from 1866, 1865, 14th Amendment, still talking about 1866. Right today is what is it that makes a person a citizen of the United States? What equal rights do we have? Where's all of the interpretation? So someone has to go to a so-called independent branch of government to interpret what somebody else meant years ago. So basically it stays in change, stays in place. It stays the same. Well, our lives are basically the same. We have not really changed, folks. We have not really changed how we think and live and what we think about ourselves. What we have done is locked ourselves into a position of change, that we think change is in the past. And most of the people that we quote in our lives of people that are dead in the past. What about the present? What about the present? What about us? What are we able to do for ourselves? How are you able to create a new spiritual freedom that is not dependent upon the past? Yet every other word out of your mouth is about the past. And the more you can become eloquent about the past, the more people want to hear about it. What people want to hear things about the past. Millions of people go to listen to things about how the past can connect you to living in the present. The greater power of God is not in the past. It's in the now. And it's in you. But in order for you to believe that this power is in you, you have to change. You have to let go. You have to stop believing what other people have told you about the past. You have to stop it. But when you stop something, it's messy. Change is messy. It's really messy. Because here you have invested all of your life. Say, for example, in being an attorney. Spent all of your life. You learn how to be an attorney. You go into a courtroom and basically everything is the same as it was 100 years ago. Basically the same. And you have no say-so over the changes. What is allowed as evidence? What is allowed in cross-examination? What is allowed in jury selection? So forth and so on. So you become a prisoner of the mindset. And now your life and your change and your freedom is tied to the past. You're tied into a system that's not going to change. It's not going to change fundamentally. It's going to change with some kind of tweaking of the modification. Now, if our lives are the same way and we are still slaves or still victims, powerless victims, then we're just tweaking our minds with the idea that we're changing. So we think that we are different. We have changed from Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Marcus Garvey. And we say, oh, those people didn't know what they were talking about. They were back then. But we're using the same information. We're using the same information. Freedom requires a new vision, a new way to think and live. The Enlightenism way is a paradigm shift in consciousness. The model of the past must go. It's painful to let go. That's why things stay the same. If you want to let go, say you want to believe that you're going to let go of all of the things that you learned in law school, and now you want to change. The system itself will not allow the change to participate in the courtroom. And in society, your own relatives and friends will not allow you to change. They don't want you to change, except to become more normalized. In other words, stay the same. Just get a lot of education. And the deeper you go into the darkness of your mind, the greater education you have about what's in the darkness. And the more comfortable you become. So now you're comfortable. And then someone says, if I play my cards right, I can be a judge. If I'm willing to succumb to the system of thought that happened hundreds of years ago. And as long as you can believe what happened hundreds of years ago, you don't have to change. You just follow everything. Well, and I'm talking about Enlightenism. People around me don't want me to change. They don't like it. They want me to be the way everyone else is. They want you to stay the same way if you're living in the pain and suffering of the inner cities of the United States of America. They don't want you to change because change is going to be messy. It's going to upset the status quo. It's going to upset everybody if you decide to change. They want you to think the same way. They want everybody to think the same way. So when I talk about the greater power within, someone wants to ask me, do I believe in Jesus? First thing people want to ask me, do I believe in Jesus? And I tell them, I believe in the work. It's not about a man. It's about the work of being born again. And I understand the work that he was doing. I understand the work that a part of you must die so that another part of you can live. The past in you, your dependency on the past must die so that the present in you can live. That means being born again in spirit and truth. But I'm not dealing with hearsay information. I'm dealing with self-discovery, things that I have discovered for myself. And that's the difference. But people want me to believe the same way that they think I should, that I should believe in every word in the scriptures. As if I don't have the capacity to know that the people wrote the scriptures didn't know the man they wrote about. They're not writing about the person they know. They're writing about what I said to you earlier about tradition, carrying on tradition. To learn more about Enlightenism, subscribe to this broadcast. Go to the National Bible Society and make a donation to the organization. Go to YouTube, follow the channel, go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and learn more about Enlightenism. And you will see that it will change how you think and live. But understand, change seems painful. And it seems painful because we don't want to let go of what we have built in our lives. We want to stay in the darkness. We are afraid of the light. Don't be afraid of the light, folks. Enlightenism is the light in you. Absolutely. It is the power, it is the clarity to live in the present moment. As Sister Carolyn and I say, Enlightenism is the greater power of God in you. It exists in you as consciousness. Check it out for yourself. Create your own freedom. Live in the present moment. Live with power and clarity. You were not born a victim. You have believed in others' beliefs, which created the victim's mindset. Absolutely. Free the mind of its dependency on the past and understand that you are greater than the person that you are aware of being.
Thanks for listening.